This week on Legends, we have Executive Director Mr. Levi Holmes, Security, Director of Security at Newark Board of Ed, on Legends with Russell Thomas. Once again, it's on. Executive Director Levi with an I, Holmes, Safety and Security Director of the Newark Board of Education. But he had a whole different lifestyle a few years ago.
Yes, I did.
So I asked, I guess one of your road dogs, Mr. Melvin, Detective Melvin. I asked him. Or actually, I started out asking him, what police class were you out of?
I was in the Mighty 100s, baby.
Okay, the Mighty 100s. I've heard great stories about them. Matter of fact, I heard they were the second most popular recruit police class of the Newark Police Department, second only to the 102nd recruit class.
Oh, no, man. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype, baby.
So, and we know this part is not hype. This is actually real. Do you remember your very first job on the police department?
I don't remember my very first job, but I just remember my very first day.
Well, tell me about your first day, because that's the same thing.
My first day, it was just totally unbelievable. I was assigned to the East District, 3rd Precinct. And, you know, I'm always very serious about what I do. I'm laser focused. And I remember stepping out of the precinct for the very first time as a Newark police officer. I was excited. I was ready to go. The sun seemed like it was shining that much brighter. And I was really, really excited to go out there and just get to the business.
Make a difference.
Yes, I was.
You had the S on your chest?
Super S.
Oh, actually, you had an L on it. Or you might have had 2 L's, because you smooth like LL, so, you know, you do what you do.
Trying to do a little something, baby.
Okay. So listen, I should have prepped the last guest I asked that question, because when he told me his job, it was actually a homicide. I was like, okay. and he got vivid with it, but that was a much safer interest, and I love that.
Yeah.
I said, I already know where we going with this. So we got a picture here. We're gonna start right up on the back with you looking dapper in the look like the dark blue or purple suit. You actually went to interview with Steve Adubato, and you actually said that because you went through something, it made you a better police officer or more aware police officer. You want to describe that a little bit?
Well, as a young person growing up, I was a college student at Rutgers University. As a college student at Rutgers University, I was a part of a black organization, student organization. We went to D.C. for an event. And the state police pulled us over. State police pulled us over because we were traveling in the left lane. Left lane is for passing on. We had a rental van, bunch of college kids. Okay, we 18, 19, we didn't know. Pulled us over. When they pulled us over, the state troopers were very aggressive. We had all the paperwork, but a part of the rental paperwork wasn't correct.
Through no fault of your own.
No fault of our own.
Right.
It's a rental. Here's all the documents, but something wasn't right. State trooper says, listen, I need all y'all get out the car on the highway. Whoa. We have all our paperwork. He said, you're not going to get out of the car? I'll rip you out.
Oh, wow.
Call for backup. 5 state trooper cars came, surrounded us. Now we're feared for our life.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking we're going to die, right? For what? Eventually, the driver got out. A very good friend of mine, he got out. The state troopers surrounded him.
Mm-hmm.
They were screaming and yelling and pointing their fingers in his face,
Mm-hmm.
really aggressively. In my mind, they were trying to get him to flinch,
Mm-hmm.
to move. Then they would have had some justification for doing something to him.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that, now I'm a pretty cool guy. Like,
Mhm.
I got my composure pretty much down pat. I had a breakdown.
Right.
Straight breakdown. I mean, I'm crying. I'm stressed out. I'm going through it. I'm like going through a tantrum because my good brother is out there about to lose his life to the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
For nothing. And I couldn't do anything about it. I felt helpless. Fast forward, what that did when I became a police officer, it made me even that much more conscious about how I interacted with people, right? It made me understand what it means to be approached by a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
So it really helped me in terms of my approach and my dealing with citizens each and every day. Because I never wanted to go through anything like that again, and I never want anyone else to go through that. And honestly, while I was working, when I saw police officers acting that way, I intervened.
Do you remember what year this was?
That had to be 84, 86, I think.
Because there was another incident with the state troopers on a van with college students that ended up changing the face of New Jersey policing.
Same area.
Oh my goodness.
Exact same area.
Trooper barracks. Whatever the trooper barracks was. Wow.
Same area.
So God was with you.
God was with me that day.
Because he knew you had a higher purpose.
Yes.
So I see the way that you spoke with that's the kind of thing, a traumatic incident that would carry you through not only the police department, but even coming onto the police department,
Mm-hmm.
because now you see how you have to act, or not how you have to be with people in your community.
Yes.
Because when you were policing, there's people in your community. I just, we I guess, the Lord's with us all.
Definitely.
And it took something like that, because as we saw shortly after, it ended totally different.
Yes, it is. It's totally different. It's
And
totally
that particular incident actually changed the state police the way they actually did some things.
Listen, but that was one of the reasons why I hated the police.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up my entire life, I hated the police. If I ever saw a police officer, I wished ill will towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to say anything to me, but because of that incident and many incidents like that, I hated the police all day, every day. And one of my best friend, my good friend I grew up with, Walter Melvin,
Mm-hmm.
he became a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
He said I should join you. I should join him.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, me and my brother fought almost every time I saw him. I don't believe you're a dirty pig. Listen, how could you, as a black man, how could you be a police? I went through it.
Uh-huh.
We argued.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the A&P on Clinton Avenue, right? Used to be A&P.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I used to live around the corner of Millington Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the A&P. I'm doing my thing. I'm per diem sub, working at the Turnpike. I got odd jobs, but I'm doing what I got to do. An off-duty police officer who's working there as his side job, he would see me going in and out. He said, hey, why don't you become a police officer one day? You seem like a nice guy. I said, let me tell you right now, I hate the police. I was never afraid to speak my mind. Right?
True.
And I'm never rude about it, but you want to talk, we're going to talk.
Uh-huh.
So I had a lengthy conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing he said to me, I'll never forget. He said, well, why don't you do something about it? He said, you run around here with all that anger. That's your anger, right? And you're doing nothing about it. If you join the police department, you could be one of the people that change the police department and change how things are. You ever think about that? Boom. Done. Took the test. Made me here. Got me here.
So Walter Melvin couldn't do it. A stranger had to do it.
Huh?
Walter Melvin couldn't do it for you. A stranger had to do it.
That's it.
Wow, I'm gonna let Walter know that he don't have no
Listen.
influence.
Man, my brother, listen, we argued almost every time we saw you. And that we've been friends since second grade.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Second grade, we've been, and not just a dude I know, we've
Right,
been
you
friends.
friends.
For second grade.
That's what he said. So let me ask you, do you remember who the police officer was?
Do I remember?
Yeah, who the police officer was that was in the supermarket?
No.
No?
No, I don't.
Because I was going to say some names, but I don't want to say the wrong names because I know some people that worked at that supermarket at some point in time. We're talking about a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but he changed. Listen, that conversation changed my life. And me and my wife, we argue a lot of times about me talking to people.
Uh-huh.
But that man having a simple conversation with me changed the course of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk to people, not necessarily for that reason, but you never know.
Right.
You never know. So that's what I do.
Wow. So we're here at 135 Prince Street. They trying to bang out some beats next door, but we're not gonna let them have it because it's my show. It's called Legends. The Legend sign isn't up there, but when it's up there, I expect you to come through. Sign Levi with an I Holmes, the second executive director of Newark Public School System, director of public safety, and all. Dude, the dude got so many titles. Listen, man. I'm just trying to tell you something. So let's go to a picture real quick. Let's go to the second picture. That's up there. Okay, so first of all, I see the illustrious mayor of Newark. I see BJ. I see Marquise Akil. I see way in the back this cat with a white button-up shirt amongst all these football players, and there's a check, a considerable check. Who did that check come from?
New York Giants, my brother.
Well, the New York Giants, but it was made to who?
Oh, it was made out to the Newark Bronze Shields and Newark Public Schools for the benefit of the Weequahic High School football team.
So you guys was giving money to the Weequahic High School football. Wait a minute, and there's a coach at Weequahic right there.
Mhm.
So you helping out with the pull.
Listen, brother, it's what I do.
Oh my goodness, is what I do. I like this man already, Adrian. He's smooth like that, and the check is so big the man can just hold it. And you got Harrison and the other defensive end that got traded for Cleveland sitting right there. What I want to know is, since I don't see no Steelers or Cowboys in the picture, what I want to know is, what team? That was the New York Giants, right? Big Blue.
Yes, sir.
So for a day, you was a Big Blue fan.
Listen, for a day. For the day I was. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm not even mad at that. So, my third show, I want to say my third show, I had the president of the Bronze Shields, Idell Robinson.
Okay.
And we went over certain things, like the new facility that you helped facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
But I know in the Bronze Shield story career, we just switching gears, there had to be a president or a person that was instrumental in the Bronze Shields that got you started. Was there any one? Now, I don't want to put you on the spot and say one person, because it could have been a couple, and I don't want to throw out no names, so anybody you want to show love to or anything or that sort, please feel free.
Well, I was, like I said, as a college student, I was very active. I was the president of the Black Student Organization at Rutgers University, New Brunswick campus. So I understood the power of organization.
Okay.
Now, I understood at that time, as a college student, the true power of the people, right? I was involved in the anti-apartheid protests in Rutgers University. I was all that. So when I became a police officer, I understood the same thing, that if we can become organized, we can do whatever we want to do. So I made it my business as a recruit. When the Bronze Shoes came, I signed up.
Right away.
Right away. Signed up right away. And I started participating. So, and I saw many presidents. I spent time with so many presidents. I didn't stay fully active the entire time, but I was an active member. So in terms of one particular person, I don't think it was one particular person, because there was so many people that influenced me throughout my career in terms of involvement in the Bronze Shields.
And I know there's a lot. And, I look back, and because the reason why I don't say any names, because I don't leave anybody out. But I played on the Mayor's Mets with Sheila Fitzcoley. I seen this cat, 5'6", 5'7", drive his Cadillac Sedan DeVille into West Side Park and get out of his car with golf clubs. get out with golf clubs. And I was like, well, who is that cat?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay. We the vibrations up in here. And at the time was Bobby Braswell. Lady Zaid Braswell.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who is that cat? And this cat was just as smooth. He took off his golf shoes, which I had probably never seen a pair of golf shoes coming out the military. And he had on, he put on his softball cleats. He said, yo, Ken, what's up, man? I said, yo, what is it you do? He was like, man, if I told you, well, you know the rest. You know how Zay's got rest
Yes,
his soul.
yes.
And I was like, wow. And I can name a whole bunch of Labeeb Abdullah who I'm actually related to. So there's a lot of influential people in the Bronze Shields.
Yes.
And hopefully I can get Mr. Torres for the Hispanic law enforcement to come through here. George, I know he's not ducking me, but you know his racquetball game I heard is kind of weak. So
It is.
It is weak.
It's weak. The
My
jumper
goodness.
is not all that.
Maybe that's why he don't want to come through, because I'm gonna talk to him on it. Okay, all right, that's what's up. So as the Bronze Shields president, how long did you serve?
10 years.
10 years. So
10 years, bro.
So that's 2 5-year terms.
It's 5 2-year terms.
5 2-year terms.
5
oh
2-year
my
terms.
goodness, you kind of popular.
Listen, what I did was I was intelligent enough to have a great team. So I started with a great team, and once you have a great team, a bunch of people that's committed, you can do wonderful things. And we started from day one doing great things, and it never stopped.
Wow, so wait a minute. I was going to ask you about maybe an offer to a job, but since you're so fluent in politics, and you are a community organizer, you are African American, you were born in the States, it's quite possible that you might be on the ballot on the top of a ticket one time.
Listen, bro. You know what? I ran for office one time when I was 23, something like that. I ran for district leader. I lost by 8 votes. But my wife is not a fan of me doing politics right now.
Because it's a commitment.
Yeah, it's a serious commitment.
But as we know, Michelle is not a fan of her husband running either. So I mean, it is what it is. So yeah. I'm just saying, you know, if you should get it, you know, I got somebody else coming in here at one point that wanted to talk, and we really don't talk politics. Mm-hmm. But a community organizes what you do.
Yes.
So in the Bronze Shields, I think I asked President Robinson this. You help people go through before they even become cops.
Yes.
To even come through the academy. What were some of the things that you guys did?
So first of all, what we did was we had classes to help them pass the written exam, and that was a wonderful thing that we did. Our last group was 250 people.
Wow.
That we had. We rented out the Terrace Ball, not the Terrace Ball, the Robert Treat. We had the Robert Treat. We had 250 people, and we had an actual instructor come. ESPO's testing agency, and they worked with us free of charge. 250 people. Let's get you ready to pass the written test. After you pass the written test, what we're doing is we're taking you to the park. We having you exercise. We having you work out because we don't want you to fail the physical fitness part either. So we're doing that. We also helping you with the discipline. Because of course, when you go through the police academy, as you know, people yelling at you, they're screaming at you, they're putting pressure on you. So when they put that pressure on you, a lot of us react negatively. So what we did to ensure that our recruits, our candidates went through, is that we took you through the whole process, everything. And then after that, what we did was, right before you got there, we started bringing you in smaller groups, bring you to the Bronze Shields headquarters, and we talking to you about what you need to expect when you enter this process. So it was really good.
Wow. Yeah, just talking about the preparation.
Yeah. Proper
preparation prevents poor performance, and that's what the Bronze Shields is doing, trying to get more recruits. And I assume or I expect that this process will continue.
Yes, definitely.
No matter who the leader is, the president.
Does not matter. That's the plan. The current president right now, he has it all in control. He's rocking it. He got it down pat.
So there's a chance that he might do 5 2-year terms as well.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. So like on the federal office level, I just want to put my bid in now. I want to be Secretary of State because I was military experienced, and and I've been out more than 7 years. But we'll talk about that offline.
You got it.
As president, are there any other accomplishments that you would like to promote of what you brought to the Shields?
Wow. It's so much.
I know. Well, you can take your time, bro.
It's so much. I can talk about the thing with the Giants. That was wonderful. So we wound up raising $60,000.
Ooh!
$60,000 that we gave to Newark Public Schools to help them with the football, based on our relationship with the New York Giants. Was huge. I could talk about the Newark Police Explorers.
Let's talk about the Explorers real quick. Tell me about the Explorers, my brother.
Listen, I was the director of the Newark Police Explorers post 2808. It was one of the most rewarding experiences ever.
Why?
What we did was we wound up having a class of 45 to 50 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Normally you meet once a week. Our group met twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
What we did is we had an actual curriculum. Where we taught them what laws were, right? What is a burglary? What is an ag assault? What's a simple assault? What's the difference, right? What's the penalties for stealing a car? Because in our mind, what we want to do is, number one, we want to get you into the frame of mind of being a police officer, but more importantly, what we want to teach you is, I believe that people don't understand what they're doing when they do it,
So
right?
true.
They don't understand the ramifications of what their actions. So as young people, we had them there, and we're teaching them. Because you know, your mama say, you lose that fight, you pick up a stick and you hit them upside the head,
That's
right?
right.
Well, yeah, you just went from simple assault to aggravated assault. You know what I mean? It's a different situation. So that was extremely rewarding. And of course, the other times we have physical fitness with them. So you know, I'm an in shape kind of guy.
Yeah,
So-
a little bit.
So I love the fact that we were teaching them that
Uh-huh.
in terms of policing, and we have the physical fitness component as well. But more importantly, my brother Anthony Roberts, he was a stickler with discipline.
Okay.
Discipline and decision making. Like, I don't care what happened, every day we got together, we had conversations, drills, exercises about discipline and decision making, because the wrong decision can wreck your life. And the beautiful thing about it is we had these kids twice a week and on the weekends.
Wow.
And on the weekends,
What's the age group?
14 to 21.
Oh, so it's still a lot for a lot of people to get in a very influential age group.
Yes.
So the Explorers. And, oh, real quick, with Anthony Roberts, let me tell you real quick, because you was on the job at 9/11. So you know how they had us assembled.
Mm-hmm.
So they got everybody together. Some people was told that they was gonna be going to the docks and lined up on the docks by the helipad off of 21, and then they decided not to do it. But for some reason, Anthony Roberts, AR as we know, just like an assault rifle, we go to Penn Station. He goes, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on down here today, but down here in Penn Station, ain't nothing happening. Jokers looked around and said, yo, you got that off? I was like, well, I'm with an OG right there. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So AR's, big shout out to AR. Yo, that's how it is. Listen, you were in robbery homicide, right?
12 years.
Oh my goodness.
12 years.
Let me ask you. Now you don't have to answer this because this is recorded, and you know, you can choose not to answer. But there was a legend, a wives' tale about the bunny rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
who was strong in the techniques of interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can confirm or deny that the bunny rabbit existed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's up to you.
I plead the fifth.
Okay, he played the fifth, and I understand that. So let me tell Adrian what the bunny rabbit was real quick, and I'm not gonna give away any secrets. They had a gentleman. They had a rabbit. If you ever seen somebody dressed in a big rabbit suit, they had a person inside, and every time the lights come on, the rabbit would stand still. When lights go off, the rabbit would move 3 steps closer to the suspect. So how I know this was a traumatic event is every once in a while, if you ever go to Walgreens or CVS and you notice that, and I'm not going to get in what the rabbit did, that's for another show. If you notice that during Easter time, the chocolate bunnies are all knocked down in the aisle, that's somebody who had a flashback from experience with the bunny rabbit. That's all we're going to talk about right here. We're going to skip over that.
Okay.
Robbery homicide. Most interesting job, if you can remember, in robbery homicide.
I had so many interesting jobs. I took the most traumatic job I had.
Yeah, I'll take that.
The most traumatic job, and when I say traumatic, I mean that's what was emotionally stressful for me. That took me a year at least to be okay. After that was a domestic violence. When a woman was giving her co-parent a ride, and for whatever reason, or he made advances towards her, and she denied him. And while she was driving, he pulled out a butcher knife and tried to kill her while she drove.
Wow.
She got out the car, tried to get away. Listen. When I went to see her in the hospital, she's a mother, right? 7-year-old daughter. Her legs, one leg is gone. The other leg is amputated from the knee down. She's braces all over the place, pins all over the place, pins in her hip.
Ooh. Traumatic.
Because she refused his advances.
Wow.
It was a glorious day when we caught him.
I can imagine.
It was a glorious day when we caught him.
Without a doubt. And it didn't take you guys long to reach to trace his steps.
2 days.
Oh my goodness, because y'all was motivated.
2 days. 2 days, brother.
Now was y'all on the 4th floor or the 3rd floor?
Fourth floor, baby.
Okay, yeah.
Fourth floor, baby.
Yo, I'm not gonna ask them more questions because it's the 4th floor, and that's all you need to know. If you don't understand, you'll never understand.
The 4th floor, baby.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was wonderful.
Listen. Okay. Well, listen. Since I left, policing has changed immeasurably. I think certain things are actually pretty good, and certain things are to be determined.
Correct.
Do you think that it's a positive thing to go through a more, how do I say it? Like Newark had its own police academy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a positive thing or a detriment to working into a city of Newark, Irvington, Camden, East Orange, or would you rather just go to a state academy where it's a little different discipline?
No. I believe Newark should have its own police academy. I believe Newark should have its own police academy because it's different from any training you're going to get in the state police or anywhere else or the county academy. I think Newark has different issues, right? And it has different issues, different priorities, right? That need to be addressed, and you need to be ready to handle these priorities. And I think the instructors that we had at the academy had us ready to handle Newark when we graduated.
Absolutely.
100%.
1 Lincoln Avenue.
1 Lincoln, baby.
Sometimes it would drip when it rained in the classroom. We put a bucket to keep it moving.
And kept on working.
And you know how that helped us out when we got into the streets?
Listen, because you weren't expecting no fantastic situation. You just made do with what you had. That's it.
Absolutely. Sometimes you might have had it way back when. You might have had a squad car with no actual floorboard, and it was a sign holding it up.
Listen, brother.
Covering that hole.
And listen, and you got out there, you got a piece of plywood, whatever you needed, you put it in the car, and you went and you did the job.
See that? That's
it.
adapting at any angle we can have. So right now here at 135 Prince Street, at Hub Life Radio and Legends with Russell Thomas, we have Mr. Levi Holmes, Executive Director of Public Safety for Newark Public Schools, all around dude. He's the guy I come to when I want to talk about, I want to open up a little spot back in a little private place where they serve Red Bull, corn liquor, and Arizona iced tea all mixed together. So I got to come talk to Levi about that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that ABC lifestyle.
All right, so for 4 years I was the executive secretary for the ABC office, Alcohol and Beverage Control for the city of Newark.
Mm-hmm.
When I was there, I learned that so many people were trying to have a functioning legal business, but there were so many people in the business of protecting them or helping them administratively and failed them. So I'm looking at people who I have the responsibility of enforcing different rules upon them, right? Because of different violations they committed when there was no fault of their own, because they're being misguided. So I did my best when I was the executive secretary, and I would bring them to the office and I would help them and guide them and help them with their paperwork, but there was only so much I could do.
Mm-hmm.
So once I retired, I said, listen, I can start a consulting business. 4 years as executive secretary, you learn the business.
Absolutely.
So I can take my knowledge of of ABC Life, help these people, help them establish proper businesses, legal businesses that are compliant with all local and municipal laws, and let them do what they have to do. And I've been doing it now for the past 3 years, and it's 2 years, and it's been working beautifully.
What's the name of this company?
Newark ABC Solutions, LLC.
Woo! It just rolls off the tongue. And are you executive director, CEO, president?
President.
Okay. Because you could be commander in chief soon, so you cover you over all of that.
Yeah, and I have quite a few clients right now, and what I did was I expanded it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as the ABC director, I would do inspections of all businesses that operate at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see that so many people have problems with their licenses for unnecessary reasons. So like your local bodega, cleaners, whatever, laundromat, they all have problems with their paperwork. So what I do now is I go and I stop by the bodega and I say, what do you have going on? Give me your paperwork. Right, they'll pay me a small fee.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure the paperwork is proper and up to date. I'll make sure they have the proper CO to operate whatever business they want to operate, and I do things like that, and it works wonderfully.
And the proper CO means certificate of occupancy.
Yes.
So that means you can legally be in the spot.
Yes.
Not be on. I'm just gonna make up a street, Stratford, non-Stratford, and have all the lights dimmed and the windows shade down, and one joke in the door. You just want to make sure that everything's above board, right?
Everything.
Okay, that's what you're supposed to do, man.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it helps the city, right?
Absolutely.
It helps the city because you have all these businesses operating illegally. And when they want to be legal, they want to be business people. They just need somebody to be there and help hold their hand and help them become legal. So I do it.
So you provide guidance.
Guidance, direction, all that kind of stuff. Administrative assistance.
Okay. So actually, you become the equalizer without even knowing it. That's what you're doing, right?
That is what I'm doing.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. So for a nominal fee, Community Policing Solutions can also help guide ABC Solutions and guide you in the best way, including entrance and exits or egress opportunities in a local establishment.
Sounds good, baby.
Yeah, that's what
Sounds
I'm
good.
talk about. You know what I'm saying? So now let's slow it down. Let's talk about Newark Public Schools, being executive director of public safety and security.
Mm-hmm.
Monumental task.
Yes.
How many employees?
380.
380.
That are under me.
That are under you.
380.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole basically rank and file system, or a system of supervisors and then actual employees.
I have 4 supervisors,
Mm-hmm.
and then all rest. I have 7 senior security guards, and everybody else is either administrative or security guard,
Wow.
or police officer.
What are some of the things that you oversee as being in your position?
I was speaking to public safety director Ambrose a little while ago,
Uh-huh.
and I was telling him it's basically the same thing on a smaller scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's everything a police director does in the city, I do, because security is involved in everything. When we're talking about, we do vaccines at schools now, we do COVID testing, right? But the security has to be involved, right? Because there are lines that's taking place. We have to make sure everything is proper and legal in terms of the conduct of people, make sure everyone's safe.
Mm-hmm.
We do that. We had just had an election, Peruvian election, Ecuadorian election at Barringer High School,
Mm-hmm.
right? Thousands of people came out, security is involved.
Wow.
So everything that happens in schools, I'm involved, just like the police director. The only thing I think is a little different, that makes my job a little more sensitive, is that every one of the people I'm taking care of, I'm protecting, is a child,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that means every case is important. Like every case divides my full attention. And if you slipped, right, and you fail one child, it's over for you. It's over. You can't say, oh, that's Russell, he's a crackhead, and we're not worrying about it. No. Every one of my people that I'm charged with being responsible for is a child. So therefore, I take it very, very seriously. And I work 7 days a week.
Wow.
Doesn't stop. And we have a superintendent, Roger Leon.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started working there, he was telling me, these are our children, period.
Mm-hmm.
And me coming from the police world, no. Excuse me, superintendent. They're ours while they're in school. When they're out of school, it's the parents' business. He came in his way, you know what I mean? I'm much taller than him, but he still kind of reached out and intellectually gave me a little slap and said, listen, they are our responsibility 24/7, because when they are home, right, what happens to their home impacts what happens to them in school, right? So we have to be involved 24/7. So you need to get ready and get involved. And I said, okay, boss, you got it. And it's a learning experience for me, but it's a wonderful experience. Wow. It's a lot of work.
I can imagine.
It's a lot of work.
Don't worry about it. I'll send you my resume, and I'll take some of that off your hands to help you out a little bit. So let me ask you, in this world, do you coordinate and assist and advise on active shooter scenarios in your schools?
We haven't yet, but we've been coordinating with the local police department so far. But we do that.
What would be the local police department in this case?
Newark Police Department.
Absolutely.
Newark Police Department.
And that's my plug, Community Policing Solutions. I actually used to conduct the scenarios of elementary schools, preschools, middle schools, and high schools. And we actually, one of the last things I did, last events I held, I had at Westside High School. And it just so happens that I'm friends with Mr. Cook, Agua.
Mm-hmm.
So the day that we picked to do the active shooter, he actually got called downtown to a meeting he couldn't miss. So he put in place his vice principal, who did an excellent job. They had already had guidelines in place,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time, we had a lieutenant, Aloma Wright, Aloma Wright Johnson. I won't give her a correct name, who's now captain.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Russ, I heard you had something going." Or she calls him Ken. I heard you got something going on Westside High School. Why don't you give me a rundown? So I give her the rundown of what I want to do. But I said, I'm going to throw a little twist in it. I want to move all the security guards out of place.
Mm-hmm.
I want one person to actually activate the whole scenario, and we'll do the best we can. You know, and she was a little apprehensive. By the end of the drill, which took about 45 minutes, because there's only about 6 of us, and I had the security guards observing, I saw now Captain Wright running up and down and banging on doors, talking about, okay, y'all can come out. The exercise is over, and one student opened the door. And they was like, "Oh, you just fell for the okie doke," because Agua Cook had already gave him a safe word that was totally out of the realm, so they shouldn't have fell for the okie doke.
Right.
So she the Captain Wright was ecstatic that she got somewhere to fall for the okie doke,
Mm-hmm.
and all I could do was smile. Say, see, because when you plan for these things, they always find soft targets,
Mm-hmm.
and you never know. Everything's not going to work correctly. You have to be prepared for the unexpected and do the best you can,
Right.
and improvise.
Mm-hmm.
And they learned it. And I had fun. They had fun, but I've done it with all different levels.
Okay.
So I'm offering you an opportunity to understand and real briefly how I got to learn the practice. Me and another Newark legend, Harvey Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey, I'm the real Ghost Phillips.
Yes.
We go down at 5:00 in the morning. We leave 254 West Bigelow. We going down the turnpike, and they gave us this location. It was an address that we couldn't find. So Harvey has the thought. Well, there's a state trooper. Let's ask him. Now, all I heard in my mind, I was driving. All I heard was, let's ask the state trooper.
Mm-hmm.
So the state trooper was doing 70. I'm doing 70. I'm pulling behind, and no police cars. And it's always it's always touch and go. I pull behind, put my lights on.
Mm-hmm.
So the trooper hard right to the shoulder, and I get out, and he said, that's the first time I've ever been pulled over in a state police car. And he looked and said, "Hey, it can only have been Newark." And we fell out. And he actually led us to the complex. And at the complex, they had people from the Mossad, Israeli Secret Service,
Mm-hmm.
Teaching what they do in case of a school being overrun, much like we had in the Capitol on January 6th. Some of the tactics were employed with the furniture, using what you got to use, sight lines and everything, and securing principal people. So I thought it was interesting. And now in the world that we live in, we have Parkland, we have other places.
Yeah.
You have to prepare for this stuff.
We have to.
If you don't prepare, it's going to be, unfortunately, more lives will be lost.
Yes, sir.
And with the size of the Newark school system, a whole lot of schools, and maybe even some more coming,
Mm-hmm.
we got to do the best we can.
Yes.
And just like ABC, you can help other municipalities or other people because you know state laws.
Yep.
So we can team up, and Community Policing Solutions can team up with other municipalities and help them run their the stuff that they go on. With your knowledge and my obvious tactical skills, we can figure something out.
Always make it work, baby.
So I was reading the bio, which is extensive and quite impressive, and I understand that you were president of the National Black Police Officers.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say it right? National Black Police Officers
Association. New Jersey chapter.
Ooh, tell me about it. You was a chapter. That means you stepped in everything too.
No. We ain't doing that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But no, we were. The Newark Bronx Shields was involved with the National Black Police Association, just as well as Noble.
Mm-hmm.
Noble actually came from the National Black Police Association.
Okay.
The Newark Bronx Shields was a founding member of both.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I became the president, we got re-involved with the NBPA. As we got involved, we come deep. We're Newark, right? We're Newark Police.
Absolutely.
Newark Bronx Shield. We come deep, and we're coming about their business. So they were so impressed with us that they asked us to start a chapter and start a chapter and represent the state of New Jersey. So that's what we did. So we had, I think for 4 years, I was the president of the New Jersey chapter. And
Wow.
we rocked out. We did fantastic things nationwide. And it was great because of the relationships that we were building nationwide, right? The camaraderie, and also the training that we received while we were there, and the training that we gave and we offered. So it was a great experience.
Is there still a partnership going on with the chapter, the Bronze Shields and Noble?
No, a lot of the national organizations, they struggle from time to time. So now everybody's dealing with NABLEO, National Association of Black Law Enforcement Officers,
Okay.
which actually did come from the NBPA as well. So,
Wow.
and that's more localized. That's more in the Northeast region for the most part. We have a couple of members in Chicago, but for the most part, everyone's from Vermont to Pennsylvania to Maryland.
Okay. Wow. It's the Eastern Seaboard.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's what's
really
up,
active.
man. Oh, you even talked about the mandate. Oh my goodness. Let's see. We got Executive Director of Newark Public Schools Security and Safety. We got ABC. We got you retired as a lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Retired as a lieutenant. We know that you can't fill the upcoming post. They've already assigned somebody. Hopefully, I'll actually get to interview him. But we already know that you've already announced here on this show on Legends with Russell Thomas that you're looking for that next step on the state level or maybe the national level.
Wow. I'm just staying busy.
Oh, I love that answer.
I just stay busy.
Don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the okie doke. Corey, I'm still waiting on my check, man. I'm telling you, man. You owe me.
I just stay busy.
Dude, and you have been extremely busy. I think I might have hollered at you in maybe September, and you was like, dude, just so much time. And I understand what you mean. You did more than 25 years, right?
No, 25 years and 2 months.
Oh my goodness, you're as bad as some other jokers that want to count down how many days they got left.
25 years. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No mistake.
Make sure. 2 months, 25 years, 2 months, and I want to hit the button.
Because what people don't understand is you can have 25 years but not have the time in.
Correct.
And you can be out and they say no.
Yes, sir.
Start walking Avenue P for another 6 days.
Yeah, no. So, but after those 2 months, I've been so active that I had a lot of job opportunities come my way. So the best thing for me to do was number one to secure my pension. Right. Retire as a lieutenant, walk out the door, and then see what else God has in store for me.
Oh wow.
And that's what I did, and then came upon the Newark Board of Education, and I'm here and I'm loving every day.
Wow, you smile.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have a driver?
No driver.
So that's about the only thing that's different.
Listen, man, you know how many applications I have for drivers? Hey, I want to be a driver. Listen, I don't have a driver.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you can hire Harvey to be a driver.
Listen, Harvey's busy enough.
Oh my goodness, Colonel Harvey, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know in 2014 you won the Director's Award. Was that for the overall scope of duties?
I won a Director's Award for being so active in the community. Number one, as a representative of the Newark Police Department, I was very active. But at that time, our Newark Police Explorers were it. When I say it, I mean we took them to whitewater rafting, these high adventure type of camping experiences. Like we were all over. We took them to Texas. We took them to New York, all over the place. And everywhere they went, they represented. They represented very, very well. And the director at the time was so proud of the things we were doing with the Explorers, and that's how I got that award.
You remember who the director was?
Sheila Cody.
Okay. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. My former captain and teammate.
Yeah, she down there in Trenton doing her thing.
Yeah, I actually applied for a job. She said, can't stay up there. I ain't messing with you right now.
Yeah.
And she actually got me started on community policing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said, okay, this is what you're going to do. Go do it. And I figured it out. But she definitely gave me guidance.
Yeah.
And the Explorers, I think Robert Moore is running them now, right?
Yes.
Yo, he's doing an excellent job as well. So y'all just continue the process. What you left with Anthony Robbins and the Robert Moore? Wow.
Listen, I tell people right now that is one of the best experiences a young person can have. Because number one, you're building a relationship with the police, and the police is building a relationship with the community. Because I'm not only dealing with that child, I'm dealing with that child's family. I'm dealing with that child's school, because when I was a director, we went to the schools to check on our children, right? We check and hey, what's going on with this person right here is a Newark Police Explorer, and you should expect more of them, and if they don't represent the organization the way they should, then we're going to have to deal with them. So it was good.
Wow.
It was good, yeah. So we were totally involved in their lives.
And it continued. It definitely continued.
We have 3 that are Newark police officers today.
And some more coming, from what I heard.
Some more coming, baby.
Ooh, you talking about a farm system?
Listen, that's how you do it.
Exactly.
But that's what everyone else does. Everyone else takes someone by the hand and bring them up. You don't just touch them and let them go.
You bring them.
You have to hold their hand and bring them up. Bring them up, and then hopefully they'll do it. So on and so on, and we keep this moving.
So you've done that in quite a different things. I read somewhere, or somebody told me, I can't remember. You actually coached football and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your love? Which one? If you had to choose, which one was it?
Basketball.
Basketball.
The
Why?
funniest thing.
Cause you 6'3" or
The funny when I grew up,
Uh-huh.
right? I played football in street football, right?
Mhm.
My mother didn't let us go. I lived on 6th Street.
Mhm.
We were close to Sussex Avenue, 3
Okay.
blocks away.
Uh-huh.
My mother said I couldn't go.
Mhm.
So when I was smaller and could learn how to play basketball, I wasn't allowed. So I just played football in the street.
Mhm.
Funny thing is, and I never played basketball in my entire life. When I was 24 or 25, I'm a per diem sub at Broadway.
Mhm.
Right now it's Marin.
Right. Lisa Maurice Moran.
What happened was the coach at the time, Dexter Davis, he was a good friend of mine, and he was the coach at Westside. He was the coach at Marin, and he was leaving. He said, "You should be the coach." I said, "You can't coach. I know nothing about basketball. Nothing. I can't play." It was when you saw me try to play, you'd be laughing all day long.
Really?
I was that bad. I was god awful. So what he did was he said, "Listen, I am the community guy.
Mhm.
The boys at the school at that time were doing horribly academically.
Mhm.
I said, well, if I become the coach, right, I can help this group of boys graduate the 8th grade."
Mhm.
So that's what I did. So I became the coach. I learned the sport. And after I learned the sport, I never let it go. I
Wow.
love it.
So he was out there after a while. You had the dry erase board, diagramming phase where the pivot was.
But listen, I took classes.
Really?
I took classes. Cleo Hill, legendary Cleo
Uh-huh.
Hill.
Yeah.
He was working at the school program. "Excuse me, aren't you Cleo Hill? Could you teach me blah blah blah?" He said he'd spend time with me, and then he had an actual class at Essex County College about the theory of basketball.
Really?
Take my class. I took his class.
Uh-huh.
Steve Gary, Newark Tech old coach.
Uh-huh.
"Excuse me, sir, can you teach me about basketball?" "Sure." The city of Newark, when I said I wanted to learn,
Mhm.
Vanessa Watson, Catherine Watson, Calvin Blue, they all opened their arms and said, "We'll teach you basketball if you want to learn it." One of the most humbling experiences that I ever had, because I just wanted to help the kids at that point, right? And I
Mhm.
wanted to be as qualified as possible to help the kids.
Mhm.
When I say everyone, Vanessa Watson, she's busy winning state championships.
And she won a consecutive group. They had to wait for her to retire before anybody else won anything. That's gangster.
She took the time out and she said, "Sit down. Hey, y'all, that's Coach Holmes. He wants to learn this. Let's show him this." Bloom, bloom, bloom. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Beautiful, beautiful experiences. And I taught, and the funny thing is, I got to be a pretty good coach.
Uh-huh.
I taught my sons basketball. My middle son, Levi, he got a 4-year scholarship, Division
Yes.
II. He should be making the Hall of Fame. He was like, at one point, he was the number 6 scorer in the country.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Played overseas.
Uh-huh.
My little son, Isaac, he's now playing at John Jay College. So, yeah, it was a blessing.
So Pops came through.
Hey. But all based on doing the right thing.
Yes. Consistently.
My mother always said, just do what's right.
And you've done what's right consistently.
Yeah, just do what's right, that's all.
Yo, my goodness, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I was gonna tell a story, but I'm not gonna tell a story about a young man talking about just send me some units. Can I tell it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so in 2011, we'll say I'm not sure if it's 13 or 14. I might have the year wrong. I hear a very see when you hear Levi with an I talk now, he's very passionate about what he's talking about, showing his expertise. But on that day, I heard a communications, send me some units, and the location was McDonald's on MacArthur Highway. We get there, we see a young man. He looked like he got what's the word? It looked like he got hit by Mike Tyson, a couple uppercuts. Looked like he was missing a couple teeth, sitting on the curb, just peaceful. And I just see Levi with an eye, executive director of Newark Public Safety Schools, looking at his fist and looked like he had 2 teeth marks in his fist. I'm just saying, Levi, you just handle your business. And the responding units wasn't to help you. It was to assist the young man into the ambulance that he went into. I'm just saying, you know. Wait a minute. Am I overstating what happened, or is this semi-accurate?
Listen, I was the victim of an attempted robbery.
Oh my goodness.
And I thank God that I was in a position to defend myself and bring that man to justice in an expeditious manner. That's all.
Yo, he said expeditious manner. You see, wait a minute. You see, he not only said expeditious manner, he covered his knuckles because psychologically he didn't want me to see that. See, because I remember, because and after I saw the situation, when there's certain things that you hear people call, and he's not the type of person to call just on any little thing just because it's a foot chase because the guy was drinking a bottle of beer down Broadway. This was a serious event, and he don't call. And certain people, you know, when you hear him talking, you actually go. And he had plenty of backup, and Jokers was just like, wow. They had everybody, you know. First of all, we want to make sure that Levi was all right. That's first and foremost. And you know, that's one of the reasons why people always wonder why police officers carry their radios. You know, and that's the perfect thing right there.
Yeah.
Perfect thing right there. So listen, Mr. Holmes. Besides you rocking that very nice The U sweatshirt, that Miami Hurricane thing. We done went through so much. I'm afraid that we're going to go into a 2-hour period because I haven't touched any of the 18 subjects that I've broached, and I don't want to start no extra things. So first of all, I want to make sure that you know you have an open invitation to come back here.
Thank you.
Because I know there's way more stuff we would talk about. I got to text somebody who wanted to hear about the bunny rabbit, but I'm not in a position to talk about the bunny rabbit. But I do know back then they had pages, and it was the first 3 people that could get there, and the 4th person, however it worked out, would be in the in the cartoon suit. I'll say, and they want to hear about it, but I'm not going to talk about it. While we're here, is there anybody you want to give shout out to, show them some love on this forum right here?
Listen, there's so many people that I want to shout out because there's so many people that have helped me become the person that I am today. Of course, my brother Walter Melvin, my brother Anthony Roberts, in terms of my police career, my development as a leader within the community, they've always been with me lockstep. Of course, my ride or die, Renee Shaves, all of the. Listen, I had a wonderful team within the Bronx Shows to help me do what I do. The most important person, though, that I think I could ever talk about is my mother.
Absolutely.
My mother is it for me. My mother is my hero. She has always been my hero. She has been my guiding light. And my mother is the reason that I'm here today. So I thank God for my mother. So if there's anybody that I must shout out above anyone else, is my mother.
Wow.
So I'll leave it at that.
Listen, you said it much, and I've had a very interesting week. I won't go into it. But yeah, love brought me into this world. Eleanor Thomas, I'm always thinking about you, and I'll always be with you, no matter what happens. We have Levi Holmes here at 135 Prince Street, Executive Director of Newark Public Schools, Executive Security Director of Safety. So I keep changing his titles because I want ABC Solutions to team with Community Policing Solutions because my 1099 has got to be right at the end of the year. So if I start out early in February, it should be straight when I get that 1099 next February this time. Because I see how you moving. You got all kind of tentacles.
Listen, it's so much. What I learned to do is I know I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work in my lifetime, and I learned so much. In my business endeavors, I don't try to get rich off of any one person, but I do try to provide an honest service to help people out. And I think that if you do that, you'll be fine. I'm not trying to get rich off people, but I'm just tired of seeing people trying to do right and not have the support or the knowledge to do what they want to accomplish. So I try to be that middle person and help them do what they have to do, and it all works out.
And you're in the correct position to do that. I thank you for coming through. We actually went a little bit over, but I want you to come back. I want you to tell some more stories. I don't know if I could put you and Walter Melvin in the same room and interview you guys 2 at a time because I don't think I can get everything out.
No, you won't be able to talk.
It's way too much laughing, and I understand you guys have a retired officer's breakfast.
Yeah.
And I'd like to, me and Ricky, I'll knock an MF out.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go there and be a part of it. I'll be the junior member because I haven't been retired as all you guys have, for as long as you guys have. But I look forward to talking to you again.
When we finish our new building, from that point forward, all the retired breakfasts will be there.
Oh, and while we're talking about new buildings, real quick, the new building will be located where?
On the corner of Brunswick and Wright Street.
Brunswick and Wright Street, and it's going up. It's going to be a fabulous. I don't want to say monument, but a fabulous testament to the work that you've done in Idell and all of the presidents.
Yes.
I want to thank you for securing the financing, getting the land, doing the deal, getting it done. So we see the Brown Shields doing big things. Maybe I get Hispanic law enforcement, Mr. Torres George, to come through here and tell me about what he's doing. But I know his racquetball game is weak, so I ain't even worried about it. So for Levi Holmes, my man Adrian, I'm Legends with Russell Thomas, and I'm out of here.